Kelsey Plum isn't necessarily ethical hoops. She's my type of hoops, but I wouldn't put her on my ethical hoops. She's one of my favorite players.
I know, listen, Kelsey, this is not shade. We just know you got a little John Stockton in you.
So big, you can't even see my face. Ballin' on the court, make them chase. Buzzer beater, shot clock, first place. Got them running plays like they running in a race. I just wanna ball. I just wanna ball.
Hello, welcome to the Women's Cut. I'm Jay, that's C-Way. Let's get started. We got our page ponies in and Miss Me, we need business today.
Yes, this is my AZ pony. She be wearing her hair in this pony sometimes. So
She do. When she fix her crown, we gonna get her to do it one day.
AZ and Skylar wear their pony. Yeah. Oh yeah. Come on. I just don't think AZ is gonna give us a Selly at all.
She's never gonna give us a Selly, but the bench can give us a Selly for her.
Okay.
She's on the court.
Okay, let's revise. So
maybe this needs to go to Paige. Maybe this needs to go to Zaza. We don't know who it needs to go to.
That goes so effing hard. I don't know.
It just goes hard. I'm just saying. I had a very good time. The WNBA, I don't know what it is about this season. Maybe it's the money. Maybe it's the check. Maybe it's the fact that people know that, you know, other players are coming in. There's a new, influx of better players, so that you got to step up your game. You got to prove your worth. But these games this season have been so much more competitive early.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I agree. I thought it was just me until they asked Carl Smesko, the coach of the Atlanta Dream, about just the playoff vibe of these games, and he agreed. He's like, look, they're playing us hard. And these games feel like playoff games. But to his point and to his credit, if teams are playing you hard, I think the Indiana Fever kind of felt that last year. Teams played them hard. At least you know what you're going to get later on in the season. And so I'd rather teams play me hard up front.
That's true. Yeah. And agreed, because now I know what I need to change now so that it don't take me all season to get where I need to be. I think that we're really going to have this is going to be, it used to be such a gap between, I wouldn't even say 8 and 9. It would be such a gap between 6 and the rest of the players. It'd be like, okay, this is the 6. And the rest of the league is competing for these last 2 spots, but we know they're not going to go nowhere. Right. These games 1 through 8 are going to be so competitive come the end of the season. I can't wait.
I actually feel like it could be 1 through 10. I think the only people that are kind of just not at that stage right now are Seattle and Connecticut. Mm-hmm. I think outside of Seattle and Connecticut, I don't know. I can't call it. I think all of these, different teams. We just saw LA beat the Aces, right? We saw, and we even saw Seattle have a really big game with Teaspoon going crazy.
Well, yeah. Well, that's how she called herself. She called herself Teaspoon. But Heidelman has been really, really good for them. I'm gonna be honest. I was like, they're giving her a lot of money. And she, even though she does well for the Lynx, she was a very much so a system player. So it's not like she was just going crazy for the Lynx. She was doing exactly what they asked her to do. And once she got kind of outside of the wings of Courtney, of whatever the system was, where she had to be the system player, and she's able to kind of spread her own wings, it's been really good for her. So I'm really happy. Whoever evaluated her as far as the talent is concerned there is really good. We saw our fan make her WNBA debut. She had 10 points, 2 rebounds, which not bad for your first time playing in the W coming from overseas commitments. So we'll see where she goes. I feel like I think she had something like 4 fouls, and I think that's the hardest thing for anybody to adjust. But this year specifically, it's been so hard for all these players to adjust to the rules changes.
Yeah, and you're noticing that, especially like we saw that with the Rooks, we saw that with AZ. I think Iowa will adjust, but I think the European game and the international game doesn't is a little bit less physical. But I think if even the international players are trying to adjust to this whistle, that's how you know they're blowing it a lot because yeah. But I think you're gonna see the adjustment. But I agree. I think going back and Natisha, she's a great offensive player. And if you don't play defense on her, she's gonna score. She's a scorer. She can score. And so I was super impressed with her, and I'm glad that she's kind of got into her rhythm with Seattle. But yeah, it was great to see Iowa back. I think Seattle is just going to get better and better.
They're so young. They're so young. I mean, Heidelman might be, maybe it's one other player that has more service time than her on that team. But most of them are so young, which I love to see. Because again, I keep using the aces as my standard, which is not a bad standard. But I think these teams really do have to grow together where you have this young core and then you try to shift in players to complement that core. And I really like that as what people are trying to do.
I will say I do want to talk about the Mystics though. They end up losing to the Storm, right? They're the other side of this, and I don't know. The Mystics' talent is great, but are you sold on their coach?
I think it's again, we're talking about a young core, right? Now, Seattle has a coach with a wealth of experience, earned her way into the coaching job that she has. I think that she's very sure of what her system is, and you need somebody like that when you have such a young team. I don't know. This kind of reminds me of the Breeze. We had this discussion about how the Breeze were basically the young turn. And it's like it can be great or it can be bad because you have to have somebody who's able to check them. It doesn't necessarily seem like their coach is letting them be them, which is good, but I don't necessarily know if I see the structure that's needed in order to win consistently in the W.
Yeah, my concern with Sydney Johnson is that, and then the choice to bring back Michaela Onyenwere and just throw her into the starting lineup, not let her work her way back in, take time away from Cody and kind of the chemistry that they had. It's just concerning for me. I think with the type of talent that he has on their team, I think the Mystics, if they had a coach like you saw on the NBA side with OKC, or even Seattle Storm's coach, I think that is the type of coach that probably is going to have the firmness, the structure, but also feed into the youth. That's what the Mystics really need. I've seen, I want to give it time for this year, but I definitely don't think that. I think they should be very cautious about wasting the time of the type of immense talent that they're building if the structure is not in place. They did lose to Dallas. That's that wasn't that big of a deal. The Dallas is a really good team, but it's not the fact that they lost to Seattle. It's just the way they lost and some of the moves there. I'm just not sold on Coach Sydney Johnson with that team. And then they also, of course, they decided to walk away from their GM. I just think the Mystics are doing a lot of things right, and I hope they get the whole thing right, because I think you can't just draft well, but then allow the coaching to kind of go by the wayside. You need to have everything all together. And right now I have some questions.
That's true. And I'm looking at their schedule. I think they've lost the games that you assumed they were going to lose. to be honest. They beat the Tempo. They lost the Liberty. I did not expect them to beat the Fever. So to me, that was
a plus.
That was a plus. I expect them to lose to the Wings. With the Storm, that's probably a wash. They have another game against the Storm. So I don't know. I feel like they've properly achieved right now, because maybe they should have won against the Storm. But again, you're at the same kind of talent level there. I think maybe you're a little bit more polished with Sonia and Kiki going into their second year. But you can say the same thing about Dom. We already know Floje is a killer, so that's a wash. So I think maybe we need to give them a little bit more space to see what they do. They don't necessarily have an easy schedule coming up. They're gonna play the Sparks, which we're gonna see coming up. They're gonna play the Sky. They gotta play the Dream, the Fever again, Toronto, Liberty. So this schedule's not gonna ease up on them for them to try to figure it out.
And I won't be mad if they lose games, but it's just the way they lose games. And to me, letting Natisha go off to that degree, to me, was a little bit uncalled for. She had a great game, but they also weren't playing a lick of defense on her. And to me, the fact that there was no defensive adjustment to stop the hot hand was concerning. Throwing in Michaela in the beginning and not easing her in with Cody's minutes was concerning. And so I think I'll be looking to see how they adjust to this, playing Seattle again, and see if they make some adjustments. It's not about the wins or losses again to me with the Mystics. It's just what we're seeing out of the development and if things make sense. If they have a fun, feisty game and they go down swinging while losing, I don't think anybody's worried about that.
Right.
They have time. Look how long it took this Atlanta team to look how it looks now and look how they look now. I mean, these type of things take time.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. Anyway.
Speaking of time, when New York gonna figure it out?
Time is up.
Ellie, the only person over there performing the way she's supposed to be performing, it seems like to me. I thought that getting their emotional leader back in Sabrina was going to kind of steady the ship, but I don't know if it's coaching. I don't feel like this team is necessarily bought in to whatever system they're trying to run.
Yeah, I mean, first things first, send Stewie some help. Look, send Stewie some goddamn help. Stewie got her knee tuned up, and she needs some help. I mean, I think I'm not sure that they fully bought in. I think it's hard to buy in when one of your star players is out, like Sabrina, and then you have a very key piece in Satu who's been out and still had to leave at halftime or around that time because she's dealing with they said sickness. I don't know if it's a cyst again. TMI, I've had a cyst before. You can't play with them hoes. You could barely walk. I had one when I was living in Spain. I thought I was dying. I didn't know what it is. They had to walk me in a wheelchair. I mean, I was in a wheelchair to the hospital in Madrid in pain. I thought I was dying. I say that to say, if she's dealing with that, I'm surprised she played. How many minutes she played?
Who was that? Who had that?
Satu.
Okay.
She played 25 minutes.
Here's my thing with Satu is, I think we're gonna have to get used to her playing through injury.
I mean, she's kind of had an injury history her entire career.
Yeah, that's what it is. So if it's not one thing through another, then it's another. But I will say this about her is that she will play through it. She's not going to use it as an excuse to do whatever, and she's going to give you what she could give. So I mean, that's part of it. I don't know. Like there was not a lot of turnover on this team, and they have one of the highest performing rookies. We'll go through the rookies, but Astir is doing really well as far as rookies are concerned. So it's like they're playing well individually, but that team chemistry, which is wild because they them and Aces returned a lot of veterans. They returned a lot of the same people. So I'm just extremely confused as to where the disconnect is. And the only thing I can do is, or say is, did they let their coach go and not have an adequate backup plan?
Right. And I just want to make a correction. I was looking at the wrong game. Satu only played 4 minutes before she went out.
Oof.
So it literally was primarily Stewie who had 25.7 rebounds carrying the load. You know, I think with your question, we don't know exactly because the GM is being very professional and careful about how he speaks about a championship level coach that he knows is going to continue to be in the system and is not going away. You know what I mean? So we're not going to get the true reason as to why him and them and Sandy parted ways. We'll never know because they're still in the same lane, right? If me and you get into it and I know you still going to be in the media space, I ain't going to be like, Jay pissed me off. I'm just not going to do that because you're going to be in the same space. We're going to be right. We're going to keep it cute.
Yeah.
I think they're keeping it cute as far as whatever went wrong, whatever in Sandy. For me, it seemed like a change in vision or a change in style and how she wanted to coach and how they envisioned. It seemed like a stylistic preference. However,
wild, a year out of winning a championship.
That's a hell of a stylistic preference, but that's what it gives. And so with that being said, you parted ways with her, but you kept all the same people. All the same people are there. And I think what you're starting to see is maybe some of the things that you thought were stylistic preferences could just be the personnel and the way they're flowing.
They built this team for her. Her fingerprints are on how they built the team. So it's in football, when you want a change, let's say my defense sucks, so I want to go from a 4-3 to a 3-4. I'm going to hire a coach that has a 3-4, and I am going to get personnel to fit that. But that's not what they did. I can't have a defensive regime change if I'm not changing the personnel, the coaches, the assistant coaches, if I'm not doing a wholesale change. But that's not what they did, because they said it when they was as soon as it was ratified, they said we're bringing them back.
Yeah,
we're bringing our girls back and we paying them. So that's the reason why I think that it's a little bit of confusion, and I don't think that Liberty fans know what this is like because they have been in the conversation. They might not win, but the Liberty have been in the conversation for the last 5 years, and that's a big shift to go. And not saying that they're terrible. We're not saying that they're a terrible team. It's just not. They're ranked 11 right now. When's the last time the Liberty was outside the top 5?
Yeah, it's been a minute, and I think what they're starting to see is, and I'm not trying to say too much. Stewie is still Stewie. Let me be clear.
Yes.
Stewie can still go anywhere and bang. They just sent her a lot of money, right, to just go over there and go overseas, right? So Stewie's still Stewie. Let's put respect on Stewie's name. But Stewie alone, when JJ, I would say over the last 2 years, is not, the JJ we saw when they won the championship.
Yeah.
And then Sabrina with a foot injury. The turning point for the Liberty to me is going to be what Phoebus can give you if Betnijah Laney Hamilton can be healthy, and if Satu can kind of make up the difference. Yeah. I still think the Liberty, with who they have, and Stewie still playing at a very high level, is fine. But foot injuries are touch and go. Ankle, I think, whatever it was, Sabrina's going to have to manage that. You don't want to push her too hard. They just need to stay in the conversation as she ramps up. But they can't have everybody. They have to pick a struggle. You can't have Betnijah out, Phoebus out.
They got 3. They had 3 players who virtually balled out, but their efficiency rating was bad. Stewie had 25 because she was 15 of 17 from the line.
Right.
You score 15 points from the line and you ain't getting at least 20 points. That's definitely a thing. But I mean, this game they lost to Portland. Now, I'm gonna say this as an anomaly because Stewie doesn't usually have a 4 for 11 night. That's not how she generally plays. Jonquel was 3 from 11. That's also, she's a very high efficiency player. But and Johannes was 6 of 12. That's about where she's supposed to be with 17. Nobody else was really helping. Nobody was helping this game.
Well, I think this is going to be a turning point year for the Liberty. They're going to have the opportunity to see, one, if this coach that they brought on, if he can coach them, but two, also looking at where everybody at in their stage, if they're able to kind of push it again. I want to see that. We have a new coach. Now Sandy's out, new person's in. If it's the same thing as last year, they're going to have to evaluate. I know Sabrina is still very capable to go. Stewie is still very capable to go, but you have to look at all the other pieces, and health and availability is going to matter, because when Sabrina went down, everybody else needed to be available, but Sabrina was down, Satu was down, Lainey Hamilton's down. It's too many people out with the Liberty.
You think they blow this team up if they don't make the playoffs this year?
I don't think Stewie and Sabrina are going anywhere if they don't want to.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Those are the two people who I think are not going anywhere if they don't want to. But I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do with everybody else.
Fair
I
enough.
think Satu healthy is a hell of a player, but she also, that's always, if Satu's healthy is always a caveat. But Satu being healthy is a hell of a player.
Absolutely.
But we're going to see. We're going to see.
Absolutely. What I have noticed, though, during the course of this season, as we've shifted, so we've seen a lot of NBA coaches come in this season. I shouldn't say a lot, but a majority of the ones who are hired are NBA coaches, assistant coaches. And with that comes generally more 3-point shooting, more outside shooting. That's what you see with the Fire. They're more of an outside shooting team. The Storm, more of an outside shooting team. Indiana, more of an outside shooting team. But what I've noticed is this top 8 is that defense has been the story of the early season.
Mm-hmm.
And personally, I like it. I played power forward when I was in high school. I love defense. To me, it's the fun seeing blocks, seeing somebody get a steal, seeing the shot clock run out. I like that. I know a lot of people like a lot of scoring. Scoring is great, but defense is fun. When we're looking at our advanced stats here, this is from Fox Sports. These are our defensive leaders. What do you notice about that top 5, friend?
It's a lot of folks are dreaming.
A lot of folks are dreaming. Your top 3 defensive players in efficiency.
And I could, you know what? Because the whole Atlanta Dream team are going for defensive player of the year. They're going for all defensive team. They're locking in, and I think they're showing that defense matters. And I got to say, we're going to have to wake a lot of things up. There's a lot of people on the Atlanta Dream that are going crazy defensively, and it ain't just rebounds. When we're talking about Angel Reese, when you're putting her name in the conversation for a defensive player, right? It's not just rebounds. She's all over the place. It's steals, it's blocks, it's deflections. Jordan Canada, as a small guard, is giving people hell. I don't want to hear nothing else about how these small guards ain't out here getting it. Big Hannah Hidalgo on the collegiate level is also defensive. So these small guards are being very disruptive out here, and Jordan Canada is there too. And so what you're seeing with Jordan Canada, Angel Reese, Ryan Howard, the Dream.
You got Alicia, number 8 on this list.
Yes, down. So this is just a great, defensive team. It's a great defensive team, and I think it's not a surprise that they are at the top of the charts.
I agree. A couple of things I do want to know. Olivia Miles and Flo are also on this list. I love to see that from rookies. I think that that's an underrated part of the rookie game. Everybody is so wrapped up in the points that rookies are giving. They're not giving credence to defense, because what we saw from from AZ was not only did she give you 17 points in the third, she was playing lockdown defense.
Right, that's the UConn way.
100%. And then a surprising addition to this list is on number 18, which is Caitlin Clark.
Yeah, I mean, Caitlin Clark has always shown really good defensive spurts and effort. With her, it's all about the effort. Caitlin has the wingspan, she has the length, and she has the speed to be disruptive on defense. It's whether or not she chooses to. And so I think it's cool that we're seeing her choose to and lock in. And I think defense is cool now. Like, people are kind of like, defense is not like the stepchild now. Like, I feel like people are talking about defense and being on the defensive team, and the blocks and the steals are getting the highlight tapes. And so hopefully as that continues, people will be more locked in on the defensive effort.
I would agree with that. What I am kind of disappointed in, and it is not surprising because the Sky are built to be an offensive team. Tyler Marsh told us that he was building an offensive team. He virtually said he did not care about defense. But I'm upset that JC Shelton. Well, Camilla is on this list too. She's been in her bag as far as blocks. Her perimeter, she does not defend on the perimeter, but they're not asking her to. But to see Camilla Cardoso be the highest ranked person in a team that's supposed to be guard heavy and guards who know how to defend, that's kind of disappointing to me. Maybe it's just me. I'm gonna take your silence as acceptance.
I'm glad somebody's on the list.
New news that came out today: Kelsey Plum sprained her ankle in practice. They're evaluating her, so she might be out for a couple of games. This is so disappointing to me. Kelsey has been outstanding to start the season. She just came off of a 38-point game. That was her game. She was literally everywhere, and she is so fun to watch. Kelsey is so fun. She's annoying. She's calculated. She knows exactly when to do what. She knows what buttons to push. She knows when to get a foul, when not to get a foul. Her basketball IQ is out of this world. And we're talking about people right now who I think would be excellent coaches. Wow. She's not there right now because she got a lot of years left. But Kelsey Plum, the way she plays the game, she reminds me a lot of Becky. If anybody actually watched Becky play, she reminds me a lot of how Becky played.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta say, I'm wishing Plum a quick recovery, but I think she balled too close to the sun with that Aces game. And so I'm not surprised that she literally balled until the wheels fell off because she went absolutely crazy. Kelsey Plum is the perfect mix of hard work, talent, and dog mentality. And she's just one of the players that I can watch play all day because her heart is fully in it. She loves the game. You can tell she loves it, and it makes you want to love it. But I will say, while she's resting, there are people in the Sparks that can step up that are there who haven't got a lot of playing time that we know can do the job. Erica Wheeler, we've seen her have huge moments, and this is just an opportunity for her to show what we've already seen her do. We've seen her play huge and big moments. She's also a dog like Plum that never shies away from the moment. And so I know while she's out, she can be there. And Latson has not got a lot of playing time. Most games she's not playing. And so maybe this will push the coach to get her in to see what she can do because she's currently rotting on the bench because Kelsey can play all those minutes. She has no problem playing all those minutes. And so when you have a vet that can play those minutes, sometimes it's hard to take them out because why? And so now that she's out, we'll see a little bit of Latson. They're probably going to continue to play Kay Martin, even though that's not the same position, but she'll probably continue to get time. And we'll see if NECA is back. So I do think those are often the games that teams win when you got players they want more time, they want
minutes, yeah.
The Sparks could F around
and do a little damage. I will say this. I mean, maybe we were a little bit too harsh on the coach because the minute call Cam out, Cam decided she was going to ball out of MF and control. But to your point, NECA went down it gave Cam the opportunity to get more minutes and be in there. And I don't know if you can, if the way Cam has played these last 3 games, I don't know if you can keep her on the bench as much as you've been keeping her on the bench.
Yeah, I think Coach Lynn Roberts did push it a little bit much when she said what she said. I'm just glad that Cam is one of those people who, instead of leaning outwards and having victim mentality, she leaned in and was like, I'm just going to show y'all what I can do. I just think Cam responded well in face of it, and that says a lot about Cam. And so I'm glad that she took that negativity and turned it into something that she could use for motivation and work hard. And that just shows the type of work ethic and work ethic and passion she has to get better.
Yeah. She was highly efficient. She was very fun to watch. She was getting abused in the paint. Baby girl was playing with a bloody nose. She was a whole fighter.
Yeah.
That was a very fun game to watch against the Aces. And I think that the league kind of used Cam as a little soft, and I think that she is changing that narrative one game at a time. So very, very fun to watch. The rookies have also been very fun to watch this season. How are you feeling? Who's your this is you know, they have again, when you're looking at the NFL, they have too early predictions. I feel like it's definitely too early. Everybody crowned Olivia Miles, and I think she's coming back to the pack a little bit, or the other rookies are starting to settle in. Flo is looking really good. AZ is starting to find her footing. Asteer is looking good. Amor is looking good. Yeah. I think that this is going to be one of the more competitive Rookie of the Year races going down through the season, which I'm excited about. It was like Sonia pushed Paige a little, but she didn't like, it was still clearly Paige. It was clearly Caitlin. It was clearly AB.
Oh, I don't think it was clearly Caitlin. I think it went down to the wire. I feel like they were
going. I think I agree with you for me and for you, but the narrative of the league was that it was Caitlin's to lose.
Okay, to lose, sure.
Okay, so yes, I agree. But AB was 100%. I don't even remember who else was drafted that year who could have pushed her. But AB, Aaliyah Boston.
Oh, AB, okay. I don't know.
She was very dominant her rookie season, and Indiana was a terrible team, so it was a very good. It was very easy to see how good she was because they improved massively with her there. But I'm just saying that this is going to be extremely competitive. It's not going to just be 2 people in the conversation. You're going to have probably 5 people who are circling around this award. So I think it's going to be a little bit harder for the voters this year.
Yeah, I agree. It's going to reflect the draft. I think the draft has so much talent in it, and there wasn't a clear number one. People were kind of drafting for need. Mm-hmm. And so I think it'll come down to the rookies with the most usage. And so you're going to be looking at Olivia and Flau'jae, maybe Amor. I think those are the people who are going to have the most usage to kind of be in the conversation. But I definitely
AZ is averaging about 20 points.
Oh, sorry. Please don't let me forget AZ because they're gonna drag me. And AZ. Thank you.
I'm like, she might be. Listen, people are so bent on her being a starter. She is getting starter minutes, and she is.
I'm sorry. Let's skirt. Reverse. It's gonna come down to the rookies with the most usage. AZ, Olivia, Flau'jae. Sorry. Please don't shoot. Hands up.
Listen, the people go crazy for the people's princess. That's for sure. I think that the knock against Flo is that a lot of people are not going to be watching those games. Unfortunately, because of how late they play in other markets, the team is not necessarily overperforming right now. I think that might be a knock against her. The Lynx are such a storied franchise, and they're in the Midwest. Their games are on a lot. I think that a lot of people are watching Olivia, and then obviously with AZ being a number 1 pick, there's going to be a lot of eyes on her.
Yeah.
So we'll see. And Astaire again has been holding. I think she's averaging something like 11 points a game, a couple of assists a game. So she's been doing her thing there too. And I think that she might be a little sleeper as far as pushing the crowd.
Okay.
So we're gonna talk about Jose. We had a kind of a debate about this earlier.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I think he's being purposefully pushy in order to take a lot of heat off of his team. It seems that he flares up the most on days where they have had a difficult game, and it definitely tempers the conversation and moves it to him versus the team.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about his relationship with the media?
Oh, the Gino way. Let me throw it. Let me throw a fit.
That's his boy.
To be a distraction. I don't know. I hate to speculate. I don't know why he's doing what he's doing. I am stuck between a couple of thoughts. Either he can get a little feisty in general, and he's just feisty in general, and he finds the media to be annoying and pushy. That could be it. It could be a bigger master plan. He wants to distract. Or he just needs PR training. I'm not sure, but there seems to be a lot of tug of war going on every single time the media asks very normal questions. And I think for a basketball mind, which he appears to be, it is annoying to keep having to answer questions about why AZ isn't starting when, one, the Wings are successful, and two, from a basketball perspective, there's lots of reasons why she could be in and out of the starting lineup. And I feel like for him, and I could be wrong, that question feels more about storyline and media push than it does actually the basketball. And I can see how that's frustrating. But also the media, they're doing their job covering the game. And some of his interactions and comments have been very testy. And, men often can get away with this. I don't think there's a single woman coach ever that could get away with this type of dynamic with the media for long. And I think that's probably a little bit what irritates me. Not that he has a dynamic. I just know if someone who looked like me, a Black woman, was having this type of testy relationship with the media, people would not find it very flattering. Dawn could not do this with the media. Dawn Saley could not do this.
I will say this: Kim be having some moments with the media.
Dawn could not do this with the media.
You said women at first. I just want to say
Dawn could not do this with
you are correct. You are correct. But I think that some women
could not do this with
all right. No, but you're like, Kim be fine. Kim be fine.
Even with Kim, it's a little, she keeps it cute. I've watched a lot of the thing. There's a lot of respect between her and the media, but when it's time for her to be like, if it's about her girl, she'd be like, and that's all I have to say. And she's out of practice. It was a coach's decision. She will keep it cute. But again, I'm gonna give it time.
Yeah.
But it's been a lot of feistiness in the reporters. I'll give it to them. They've been holding their own.
I think that it's just another I think people underestimated the pull that AZ Fudd had coming out of college. I'm going to be honest. Mm-hmm. I think that it reminds me a lot of Chicago. I don't think Chicago as an organization was prepared for what Angel Reese was when she arrived in Chicago. Indiana was prepared when Caitlin Clark touched down. Right. They understood media-wise what they were getting. I don't think, because Paige, although Paige was Paige, she was not the darling that Caitlin Clark was, right? She definitely garnered, she was the number one pick. She was doing really, really well. She definitely garnered like media, but I think AZ is just a kind of a different animal, and I don't think that people understood the fan base that AZ carries with her when she comes in. So I think that that's added, because even though people in the comments are asking why Kennedy isn't starting, nobody asked Becky that question.
No, and they won't.
She not starting because first of all, she's Becky. She's Becky. So why are we?
Nobody's asking Becky that question.
So, right. So why are we questioning it?
Yeah.
And even if the fans are like, she's doing this, she's top 5 in the league right now, I think, at scoring. It's because she's coming off the bench that she can attack the way she can attack, and that is the reason why Becky brought her onto the team. Right. So we have to understand that he's still thinking strategically. Jose is not new to coaching. He did not coach at the UConn. He did not coach at the South Carolina. He did not coach at LSU. There's not a ton of media and reporters and all that other stuff, but he has a winning pedigree. And I think that a lot of this is them not knowing him as well as a coach, because there's a lot of questioning of why.
He's probably not used to that. And maybe that's a good point. I think when you've been coaching for a long time, you're not used to being questioned in that way. And I can say I really like your point about the preparation, because I was on the ground for a couple of the earliest games for Paige, and the media were over prepared to me. I think Dallas was over prepared for Paige, but because Paige is such a chill, ethical hoops, I'm just here to hoop. That, I don't think, even though she brought so many fans, her type of fans are not they're not the ones flooding the questions with why this, why that. I don't think that they realize that AZ, the people's princess, is coming with a different vibe. The fans have different questions. It's a different level of pushiness. And I do think there is a mix of like not knowing what AZ comes with, and also people not knowing that Jose really ain't for the questions.
I mean, that is a fair point, because people who are fans of Paige are fans of basketball. They're fans of basketball and they're fans of Paige. There are people who are fans of AZ who don't even like basketball. They just like AZ. They're just here for AZ. That's it. So you're going to get a different level of questions. And I like, even when you look at I don't want to bring up what question was asked, because I think that it was 100% inappropriate, but that's the reason that kind of question was asked, is because they were not prepared. Because generally at a press conference, you say before the cameras are rolling what questions you're taking and what questions you're not. Don't even waste your breath on a question like XYZ, because we're talking basketball. So I don't know if they were just ready for that level of scrutiny, and they gonna have to get used to it now, because they're going to be playing in a very important games, and they're ranked number 6 right now, I think. 6, yes. They're ranked number 6 right now. They're going to be playing very meaningful basketball in the postseason, and the scrutiny is going to get even higher. So you're going to have to get used to it, buddy. Mm-hmm. So you did bring up a phrase that we've used over the last couple of episodes, which is ethical hoops, which is a list that you are currently compiling, a running list of ethical hoopers in the WNBA. And there's been a lot of questions in our comments about what exactly ethical hoops are. So can you tell us what ethical hoops are?
So I think ethical hoops has 2 prongs, right? Like, first, it's kind of where I think it came from, which is the antithesis of what the Oklahoma City Thunder are doing, right? that is what ethical hoops is not, right? So it's scoring cleanly, right? It's not flopping, it's not baiting, it's not getting all your points from the free throw line, right? It's not always complaining to the refs. It's literally getting your points ethically. It's not scoring at the last minute of the game to stat pad. It's not stat padding. You have that. But then I think the part that I'm adding, like the Seaways ethical hoops, is also just people who just go out there and play clean basketball, players who are doing the things that don't always show up on the stat sheets, making the right plays, making the team plays. And so it's a bit of balance between the two. And I'm looking for players that not only play clean basketball, who also play team basketball, who are doing the things that all the stat watchers and the box score watchers may not see. But if you're watching the game, you're like, this player always does the right move, always looking for the right play, is always making the extra pass.
So we're talking like a Jordan, like you said before, a Jessica Shepard. We're not talking about, let's say, a Kelsey Plum.
Yeah, Kelsey Plum isn't necessarily ethical hoops. She's my type of hoops, but I wouldn't put her on my ethical hoops. She's one of my favorite players.
Listen, Kelsey, this is not shade. We just know you got a little John Stockton in you. That's all we say.
And volume shooters are kind of going to be a little bit off my ethical hoops list.
I'm assuming that you're adding efficiency as part of it.
Efficiency is also part of it. And I think when you think of ethical hoops, you do think of UConn players. So I think ultimately I'm going to put Stewie on there. You know, not Stewie. When you think, I think Nafisa plays very ethically, right? The Pages, the Azies, the Maddies, Jordan Canada, I think is a very ethical hooper. And so that's kind of what I'm looking for. And so we are making first team all ethical hoops, second team all ethical hoops. We want to know, who do you guys think are ethical hoopers? Because these are also the players that I want the up and coming players to be watching. Because it's only so many Kelsey Plums out here, right?
Kelsey is a dog. That's a whole different. What's her? Isn't that her thing? The dog, whatever the dog training that she does every year. That's a whole different standard. And I think that
she's kind of in a league. She's kind of in a league and I think there's too many people who think they're going to be plums, and you're not built for it. But there's a lot more people.
To me, Angel Reese is more in that side of it, like high motor. I'm gonna make some shit shake. That kind of mentality versus what you're saying is, I'm about to get in here and get out and be lethal with it.
Yeah, and I think Angel Reese is almost the kind of, her game is a little bit weird because it falls in both categories. I think the cleanup stuff that she does and a lot of the plays and passing that she does that doesn't show up on stat sheets is over there in the ethical hoops. But I think what makes her out of there is just her unique, unorthodox way of playing that makes her, doesn't fall clean into this very like cookie cutter category. And being on the ethical hoops list doesn't make you better than people not on the ethical hoops list. It's just a certain style of playing basketball. And these are often the people that don't get talked about. And so that's why I want to make this list, is because the ethical hoops list are not the people.
That makes sense. Because you have a lot of people who are like you really like them, like Sarah Ashley Barker.
Yeah. People aren't sitting around, like the true hoopers are sitting around, but Sarah Ashley Barker is to me could be on the ethical hoops list. She is a person that may not be talked about like a Kelsey Plum on the big list, but she is doing all the small things. This list, though, just so you know, y'all know, because Jay knows, started with Maddie Siegrist. I just fell in love with the ethical way that Maddie plays. Every time she has minutes, she's always making the right plays. And so I wanted to see how many more players out there are like Maddie. They're just always doing these just small things, the things that matter.
All the things.
So that's what I saw. Yeah, so y'all let me know.
I love it. All right. That's a wrap for us today.
Yeah, we don't have anybody in the cut. So no one should be.
We gotta yell at people every week.
We don't. Look, it's almost summertime. Shy, it's hot outside. Y'all should be happy, staying out of trouble.
Listen.
Yeah, so
it was a good Memorial Day weekend in Chicago. Nobody lost their life, so we gonna go out on a high for sure today.
Yes, and if you're not following the Women's Cut on all platforms, not only are we writing good content that you can subscribe to at media.thewomenscut.com, we're on everywhere where you can listen, watch. So you guys make sure you support, share it out, tell a friend to tell a friend. This is a Black-owned media company on the rise. We're doing a lot of great things, and so
like and subscribe, please.
All right, join the cut. Bye.
Ring so big, you can't even see my face. Ballin' on the court, make 'em chase. Buzzer beater, shot clock, first place.
Chicago Clubhouse Network Production.